Hi everyone. I am taking a break at work today, so I have a little time to just put something together. And today I want to talk about my journey moving from the Philippines to America, Hawaii. This is way back in 1993. I was 15 years old. And the reason why we moved here was because of my great-grandfather. He was a sugar cane plantation worker, a sakada, and he petitioned my grandfather. And then my grandfather is my mom's dad. And eventually he petitioned his kids. There's 8 of them, my mom, 8 siblings in their family, and she's one of them. And my grandfather, I call him Tata, he petitioned his children. And my mom was married then, so it would take like maybe 20 years to process the paperwork and eventually move to America. And unfortunately, my dad passed away when I was 12. And that was during the period that my mom was being petitioned. And for that reason, her status changed from married to single. And because of that, her paperwork got expedited because now she's considered single. And as she got closer to moving to America, I and my older brother were underage, under 18 years old. And if she would have to move when we are underage, then we are part of the petition. And when eventually she was approved with the whole process where you have to go through a lot of documents, medical and interview, once everything was okay, then we all moved here. My mom, me, and my older brother. And that was the reason why we moved here. And that was in 1993. And at that time, I was 15 years old. When you're 15, I believe at that time, I'm not sure if it changed now, but where I'm from, we don't have intermediate school. So after elementary, you go high school. At 15 years old, I finished my junior and I was gonna be a senior. And I was very active at school and I had a lot of friends and I enjoyed my high school. And I was looking forward to being a senior in that school and graduating with my friends, but I had to move here. I had to move to Hawaii and there was nothing else I can do, even if my friends were telling me, we're gonna kidnap you and things like that. And that was so funny. But I had no choice but to move here with my mom and my brother. So in May 1993, we stepped in that plane and moved to America. I was nervous, very, very nervous, because it was very unknown to me and it was my first time to be in a plane. And at 15 years old, not knowing where you're going and how it's going to be with the plane ride, I was really worried, and we got through it. And so I got to Hawaii. And I thought, it would have been different, I guess, because of all the movies I see. I thought it was pretty much like a city, like the New York, with tall buildings and, the crowd. I got here in the Big Island, Hawaii Island, and it's a little different. It's slower, but I've come to love it now. And, even if it wasn't something I expected, I really appreciated it. I was still very sad and very homesick because I missed my town. I missed my friends, and I was a teenager, The way I cope with it was I made a plan. I told myself, okay, fine. Since I'm going to be here, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to do well, and I'm going to go back home. I'm going to go back to the Philippines after I graduate. So that was my plan. So that kept me going for high school. I really put my everything. I'm not sure where it came from with all the motivation and the determination, but at that age, I told myself, okay, since I'm here, then I'm gonna do my best to be the best I can be in this new country, new place, my new home. And so in high school, I focused on my academics. I really concentrated on, doing well at school and making it just at least making it and being able to start something good for me, and hopefully I can take it with me back to the Philippines. That was the plan. As I got older and I got to meet friends here and I got to love the place, I realized I was okay here. I was happy here. And so I started having my life here. It wasn't easy at that age, moving to a different country, especially America. Luckily for me, I didn't feel like I was bullied. Maybe they tried, but I didn't care because I was so focused. I just wanted to know that I'm gonna do well and I'm gonna make it, because at that time, I didn't have anybody to really look up to and ask. I moved here and I didn't have any cousin that I could ask, like, how's high school? Or, I didn't have that. So I have to discover it myself. It was not easy, but I think what helped me was my willingness to work hard and to do my best, to give my all, to make the best of my life here. Also because I felt like I have to be that person for my mom. She was older then, and then at a new place, working really hard. And so I wanted to do my part. And my part was to do well at school, not get into trouble. And so I kept that in mind as I was going to high school with everything, with a culture shock. I believe that I did well, because I ignored all the distractions. If people were trying to make fun of me at school or bully me, I really didn't care. I was just on my own, and I was okay with it, and also with the language and everything, it helped a lot, because when I was in the Philippines for high school, I had a teacher. We had an English class. I didn't like that class because I was questioning that class. I'm like, we're Filipinos. Why are we learning English, And my teacher, she was so strict. She has this rule that when we are in her class, the only language we can speak is English. I was like, oh my God. It was so funny because most of us are not really talking to each other, because then we would have to speak English in the class. And eventually we got comfortable with it. I got used to learning the language. And when I moved here, that was very helpful. At 15 years old and new language, it helped me a lot. It was a big thing. And also what helped me was I actually read dictionary. And because I wanted to improve my vocabulary, learn more of the language on my own before I actually started high school here in Hawaii. I used to read a lot of books. I used to watch Saved by the Bell, like a lot of the American shows. I wanted to listen and hear more how they speak to each other, and also the culture. And that was part of the reason why, that was part of my research, I guess. I was watching TV shows, reading books, dictionaries, whatever I could do so I can improve my language and my understanding of this new language. That really helped me. Having that background, knowing the basics of English helped me a lot, helped me get through high school. And also my teachers were really understanding. I don't really remember them making me feel like I was dumb, and very clueless. They tried to help me, and I think that was very helpful. I just remember really telling myself, all you have is yourself at this point. So you just have to do your best. You just have to make it. And I have so much more stories of how I cope with all of those challenges in high school, and can tell you more about that later, because I know that there are a lot of immigrants, not just Filipinos, at that age, it's very challenging. It can take you to a place where it's not going to give you that confidence, and you're not going to have a lot of self-worth unless someone's there for you. If you are one of those, or anybody that in that situation, it's you can do it. It's possible. You just need to reach out, need to believe in yourself. Just know that it does take you to believe that you can do it. I made it, and I survived it. You know, even with all of that, I still enjoyed my high school, and I spent 2 years in high school, and it was still fun and challenging at the same time, but I would have never changed anything. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm here. If you're in that situation now, I've been through that. If my story or things I can share with you, how I cope with them and how I dealt with them and how I manage things, I'm here to share all that if that's something that would help you. I just, want to share that is part of me now. And that's what made me where I'm at and who I am now. I'm glad, and I don't regret anything that had happened and how I dealt with things, because it's in the past and we'll learn from them. I wasn't perfect. It was still challenging, but it was all part of it. If I had made mistakes at that time, I learned from them. No matter what, there's always a way and you can make it. So watch out for more. I gotta get back to work, but that's all I have for today. And thank you for watching. Hopefully there's more stories and experiences I can share with you later that will interest you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.